The Dunbar Armoured facility robbery was the largest cash heist to have ever taken place in the United States. This inside job was the plan of Dunbar safety inspector Alan Pace, who used his position to gather all of the information that he needed in order to commit the crime. On September 12, 1997, Pace, along with 5 of his childhood friends, subdued the guards and made off with $18.9 million. He was eventually caught and sentenced to 24 years in prison, although shout out for getting together with your old childhood friends. Sometimes it's nice to catch up. In 2009, 2 men posing as customers entered the premises of Graff Diamonds, a jewellery store in London. They'd used the services of the professional makeup artists to completely alter their appearance, which is pretty nifty, under the ruse that it was intended for a music video. Again, clever. Once inside the store, the robbers produced 2 handguns and threatened staff into handing over $65 million worth of jewellery. This was a heist so big that it took 3 years to plan. Career criminal Leonardo Notarbartolo had rented an office in Antwerp's Diamond Centre and posed as a diamond dealer in order to gain trust and credibility over the years. The Italian thief and his crew somehow managed to get through 10 layers of security to make off with $100 million worth of gems. In 2005, the biggest bank heist in Brazilian history took place. The robbers dug a 656-foot tunnel from a nearby farmhouse in Fortaleza into Banco Central, using vans to transport dig materials and haul away the dirt. The thieves managed to get away with a total of $65 million. The largest single bank robbery in history took place using nothing but a note. It took place on the 19th of March in 2003, the day before coalition forces began bombing Iraq. Saddam Hussein considered himself to be the owner of the central bank of Iraq, and therefore anything held within was his. The former dictator sent his son, Qusay, to make a withdrawal on his behalf using only a handwritten note. Terrified of their country's ruler, the bank staff consented to the demand. Over the next 5 hours, he oversaw the withdrawal of $1 billion for his father. Later, US troops found $650 million in the walls of Saddam's palace, while the remaining $350 million was never found. But as they say, there's always money in Saddam Hussein's banana stand. It was the April 2nd in 2015 when the Hatton Garden Safe Deposit Company, an underground safe deposit facility in London's Hatton Garden area, was burgled. The crew had entered the premises through a lift shaft, then used a heavy-duty drill to bore holes in the wall, bypassing the main vault door. Once inside, the 6 men broke open 72 safety deposit boxes, getting away with $310 million. On the 19th of May 2015, police announced 7 men had been arrested in connection with the robbery, 3 of whom were over 66 years old. So yeah, that's a reminder, if you haven't done so already, start working on the pension. You don't want to end up like this. 58-year-old John Goddard was a messenger working for money brokers Shepherd's when he was mugged for his briefcase on the 2nd of May in 1990. The knife-point robbery took place on a quiet side street in the City of London, yet the contents of the case made this crime one of the biggest robberies in history. Goddard was carrying $452 million in bearer bonds that were as good as cash, basically. Police believe the actual mugging was carried out by petty crook Patrick Thomas, who was later found dead with a gunshot wound to the head, possibly murdered by the other people involved in this case. While the city of Boston was preoccupied with St. Patrick's Day celebrations on the 18th of March in 1990, 2 men disguised as police officers tricked guards into letting them into the Isabella Stewart Gardner Museum. Once inside, the thieves made off with 13 works of art worth a total of $500 million. 25 years later, the 2 men are still at large, while the museum is offering a $5 million reward for any information leading to the recovery of the art. By simply using a stolen KLM Airlines cargo truck and some matching uniforms, 2 men managed to pull off the biggest diamond heist in history. As the thieves were incognito, they were able to access all areas of the Dutch airport. On February 25, 2005, the men drove up to another KLM vehicle carrying a large haul of diamonds. They ordered the driver out at gunpoint and drove the truck away with its $118 million cargo still inside. When in late 2008, a man and 3 women entered the upmarket Harry Winston Jewellers in Paris to do some browsing, it aroused little suspicion. However, the staff were shocked when the 3 women suddenly removed their wigs, revealing themselves to actually be men intent on robbing the store. 4 of them got away, with $108 million.